So the clock has begun. Under 3 minutes to go at 2:10. New Zealand will get port entry. They will be coming in on the left-hand side, and the Americans can come in 10 seconds later. They will get into the start box. Again, that 10 seconds advantage really isn't to give them an advantage. It's just more for a safety precaution.
Well, it was done for a safety precaution, but a lot of these teams think that it actually is an advantage, Todd, to get across and to be able to start to position yourself where you want to go. The boat coming in from the other side, or Oracle today, they have to kind of react to your position. So we think at 2:10, when these guys come zooming in, they're going to start thinking about where they want to set up, which end of the line they want to set up for.
Okay, it's a leeward line, sailing down sailing lane here.
And now the Americans are free to enter the start box. So the 2-minute clock is on. Now this is a position where 2 minutes of jockeying, Kenny, really takes place. You want to get your boat in the right position against your opponent and at the line when the clock hits 0.
One of these guys will become the pusher and the other will become the blocker. And we're going to see Team New Zealand likely roll into attack here shortly, and then it's reaction time. For the skippers, it's all about reaction for the next minute and 30 seconds.
90 seconds to go to the line as we check in on the water with Gary Jobson. Gary, whose position do you like the best?
Well, I like the American position right now. They're closer to the line, and they're going to be able to block the course of New Zealand. So New Zealand's got a little trouble right now.
Can't get to the boat. Full bait here. Getting it back up on the one now. Back up on the one now.
1 minute to the start.
And you hear Dean Barker really starting to talk about maneuvers right now. This is classic pusher and blocker. Team USA is trying to get New Zealand down below the ley line to the left side of the race course. New Zealand's trying to hook underneath, and they're coming from behind fast to try to get that hook. You've got to be careful getting too low on this ley line, though.
On the wind.
2 above pin. 30 seconds to go.
Team New Zealand being patient. This is time and distance for Dean Barker right now. He'll end up going to the left-hand side or the bottom of our screen below Oracle. Who accelerates best?
And the final count is on. It's day 3 of the 34th America's Cup. Who's going to get it right? And New Zealand at the last moment, Kenny made a great move as Dean Barker was able to get underneath Jimmy Spithill.
Crucial part of this race right now, boat speed contest. Who can reach fastest to this mark? Can Emirates Team New Zealand hold off the boat that has a slightly better angle to windward?
Those blue dots coming off the screen, that is disturbed or dirty air that the Americans are sending back to the Kiwis right now.
And Oracle will get over the top and give them disturbed air. Oracle will be ahead at mark 1.
So at mark number 1, it's Oracle, Team USA, that picks up the whole shot over the Kiwis. And the race is now on. This is race number 5, day number 3, as we go down on the water, leg 2 of 5, and check in with Gary Jobson.
Very puffy wind conditions right along the shoreline where they're going down. Small jibs, you can see the forward sail, how small they are here. But New Zealand, even though they're 2 lengths behind, has plenty of opportunity to catch up when they make that all-important jibe.
Gary talking about the jibs, the sails at the front of the boat, Ken. If you wanted to get more speed, would it make more sense to put a bigger sail up front?
Well, it's all about being the amount of power that you need. These soft foils, and that's what they are. They're foils, they're made of carbon fiber as well, just like the rest of the boat. But the smaller the foil on a really windy day, the more efficient the whole sail plan is. Gary, you can really see this is kind of a what we call a left-hand racetrack, which means the breeze is blowing off the shore more than we've seen in the past, allowing these guys to really extend down the course on starboard tack here, almost aiming for the mark.
Yeah, the wind has gone out in the south here, and that's why they're able to sail this course. It's bad news for New Zealand because there's no passing lane and there's no opportunity to jibe. So the New Zealanders are in a tough position right now.
And for the first time, Todd, on that reach, on that first reach, Oracle showed speed. That's the first time you can absolutely say Oracle was the faster boat on that first leg. Really well positioned, very well done.
Nice pressure we're sailing into now. Leaving the pressure back up the front. Yeah, no, it's always better for him now. I'm keen to step down to even that shift. Hang it here for a little bit. Okay, any lift you want to get out of here, right? Yeah, as long as you don't go soft, but there is better pressure to leeward. Yeah, it's lifting us now. 20 seconds.
Dean Barker, the man with the 14 on his helmet. He is the skipper and helmsman.
10.
Getting ready to jibe.
3, 2, 1, jibing. Yep.
And a nice jibing, Kenny, just like that. Oracle Team USA jibes right on top. Now, is that a tactical, or are they seeing better pressure as well?
No, for sure, tactical position. That's called a cover right now. The boat ahead is covering, kind of staying between the other boat and the mark right now. No reason to do something crazy. But interestingly, we're seeing Oracle show pace on this first run like we haven't seen before. It's windy out there, and Oracle is really showing some jets on run number 1 of this race.
See it, Tommy? Stand by. Okay, go button, go forward.
See those dagger boards drop down in the water as they get ready to jibe. Jimmy Spithill makes the dash across the trampoline. They stay up on their foils.
Nice, Tommy.
I think it's going to be a foiling tack here. I don't think we got right mark foiling tack.
Right mark, foiling tack, okay?
You hear them say right mark foiling tack, so they're going to just go straight into this mark. Remember, with this flooding current, they're going to want to try to get some relief from underneath Alcatraz Island, so they're going to be both tacking fairly shortly. You heard Oracle talk about that tactic right there.
At gate number 2, it is the Americans, Oracle Team USA, the defenders of the Cup, who have the lead, pushing it to almost 150 meters over Emirates Team New Zealand, and it's the Americans clear of Mark 2 first. As the clock continues to run, the mark is set at 8 seconds, so the Kiwis trail by 8 seconds, and it looks like they are going to split the course with the Americans going towards Alcatraz and the Kiwis going closer to shore.
Gary, really interesting move by Oracle. We've never seen anybody do this yet. A foiling tack right around the mark where they literally never got on their standard starboard tack course. They rolled into a tack. They practiced that yesterday. I watched them do it.
Dipping him if he tacks, okay? Dipping him if he tacks, copy. Just want to stay in a sort of normal on the wind mode here, Lenny. I can't see him right.
With a lead of about 60 meters, it's Oracle Team USA on leg number 3 of 5 who have the lead on the Kiwis. They trail 3 races to 1.
I'm really surprised they went into that maneuver so quick around that mark. Literally, I watched them do it yesterday. I wondered if they broke something, if it was a mistake. But they really kind of gave up that kind of recovering ability. Now, they may be able to do one less maneuver. No, actually, Team New Zealand is set up for one less maneuver. Really a surprising move by Oracle USA around that mark.
Jimmy, you good?
Oh, yeah, all good.
He's dipping.
It's going to be very hard for Oracle to make 2 tacks here quickly, and here's the dip.
Team New Zealand dipping. Exactly. Team New Zealand dipping from 180 yards behind at that mark to being even based on what Oracle did at that mark. Very surprising. And Team New Zealand now will have starboard tack when they split across to the other side.
Starboard tack, Kenny, and getting out of less current, so New Zealand has the advantage right now.
So Team New Zealand hugging right behind Alcatraz Island there, as Kenny and Gary Jobson put it out. You see less current there. The big arrows meaning heavier current. The Americans are in it, and the Kiwis just carried it a little farther, going almost to the boundary.
He is
You know, one thing you want to think about, that wind is more to the south when you get along the city front, so that could help Oracle when they tack over, have a better angle going for the mark. But right now, it's all about boat speed.
That's right, and that big angle difference that we see on the TV right now, they're just out of current. Team New Zealand's out of current right now, and you're going to see them go across a current line right there. Now they're out in the same current as Oracle. This is really interesting tactics by Oracle. I don't really know what they're doing right now, to be honest.
I always wonder if in New Zealand you tack right now to get back out of that current, tack early.
So the Kiwis have taken the lead for the first time in this race number 5 on leg number 3, which has really been their lucky charm over the course of the last 4 races.
Right out of the textbook, tack directly under wind, force Oracle back out into the current. Good move by New Zealand.
I'm Jimmy.
Oh, mate, we've got to get this sorted, eh?
I need more time. Hey, guys. Thanks, guys.
Here it is at mark number 2, Ken. This is what you're talking about. They went immediately to tack.
They called for a foiling tack. We haven't seen this on any boat up to this time, where they're trying to use their speed while they round the mark to actually roll the boat into attack. They almost come to a stop right there doing it. This allows New Zealand to set up, get organized, and roll into what they consider a proper tack.
And here it is one more time. What they're trying to do is stay up on those foils, and as they make the turn, all that speed, Kenny, is pretty much just lost.
Again, I keep rehashing this, but I saw them do it yesterday. I remember thinking, and this is just during practice, I remember thinking at the time, boy, I wonder if they broke something. They did such a radical quick turn. Sure enough, they did. They were practicing it. They thought it would be better. Here they are going up the track. New Zealand just does a standard tack and just kind of starts running them down. Not only do they have pace and maneuverability, but they get the starboard tack advantage. As soon as they dip behind USA, they're in much less current, take over the lead pretty quickly.
Ken, there is nothing better in sailing than being behind and catching up, because it gives your crew a big psychological boost and really deflates the confidence of the other boat.
So what was once a 140-meter lead for Oracle Team USA, the defenders of the America's Cup, has now been handed over to New Zealand, and the Kiwis have pushed it out to a 300-meter lead over the Americans.
And now they get to dictate where they want to position themselves on the course, and they're playing for the left-hand side of the course. That's where the next bit of relief will be.
Really good pressure out of the slump.
So it's the Kiwis who lead on leg number 3 as they put distance on the Americans here in race number 5.
Really strong on him, boys.
And there is the advantage right now. Emirates Team New Zealand leading by more than 250 meters as the Americans try to get back into this one. They had the lead on legs 1 and 2, yielded on leg 3. And Ken, was that a mistake, a tactical mistake by the Americans, or was it just a more favorable current for the Kiwis?
It was all of the above. I've never seen a tactic like that, trying to go up what's called that tidal cone behind Alcatraz. That fast tack actually didn't really set them up very well, even to get into the cone. Never mind give away advantage almost immediately.
Now, if you're looking at this AC live line and you're a fan of Oracle Team USA, you see those blue arrows, that's heavy current going against you. Why wouldn't you charge over to the left side of the course?
Gary, that's a good question. Can you help us with that one? I'm not quite sure.
Total confusion.
Our mode's higher, slower.
This is the scene on the San Francisco Bay in September showdown, leg 3 of 5, race number 5. And Oracle Team USA had the lead for the first 2 legs. They gave it up on leg 3, and now they trail by a substantial amount to a very fast Emirates Team New Zealand boat. The lead has now been pushed out to almost 300 meters yet again by Emirates Team New Zealand. And look at the speeds, Kenny. Emirates Team New Zealand is just a faster boat today.
Yeah, upwind for sure. And that's been kind of the rumor around San Francisco for the last few days, is that Oracle seems to look pretty darn strong downwind, but I think everybody is shocked at how fast in the different modes. They have a low and fast mode. They have a high and slow mode. They're really good at attacking. They're just better upwind.
Absolutely no pressure. Just keep looking forward. Boundary will be coming up for him.
So Emirates, Team New Zealand, you heard Ray Davies talking about no pressure, stay where we are, and just not enough racetrack as Oracle Team USA, Gary, has to tack back into the course.
Very tough maneuver for Oracle there. They're just slow making those turns. And it was tactics at the bottom mark that got them so far behind. We are right alongside Emirates Team New Zealand, and they're almost foiling going upwind. Very impressive what this New Zealand team is doing.
And the lead continues to grow for the Kiwis.
For sure, Todd. What we just saw Oracle do, it looked a little kind of out of control in that tack, but they're trying to do what Emirates Team New Zealand has done so far in this series and go from one hull directly to the other, to use their underwater foils to actually pop their new weather hull out of the water during a tack.
Just gets the delay, okay? That's right, mate. Boundary check.
Todd, we heard Ray Davies say boundary tack, which means they're going to go all the way over to the wall here, the wall that only we can see, of course, and probably tack there. Remember, this is where the most amount of relief is on the left side of the racetrack with regard to the currents.
20 seconds. Very wobbly out of here, guys.
Amazing how quickly this turned into a runaway.
10.
Oracle Team USA trying to get back into this race. They led on leg 1. They led on leg 2. And at mark 2, they made a decision to tack as they came around that mark, lost all their speed, got out of sequence, and the Kiwis have led pretty much from the outset, and not just leading by 50 meters or so, Kenny. They're pushing this thing to almost a lopsided proportion of 500 or 600 meters.
Down the road. This is an incredible turn of events. You have to believe that Oracle supporters were jumping for joy after that first reach and that first run, but unbelievable. We've seen more passes again in the America's Cup.
Kenny, you hear that noise, that creaking. Folks at home may think these boats are about to break apart. What are we listening to there?
Yeah, we're listening to the lines on the winches. Amazing loads. 3 tons of load on this wing winch, and then of course the jib or the soft foil up forward. They're just easing and trimming to try to make these boats go at maximum speed.
You know, the problem when you have some moment like this for Oracle Team USA, it gets in your head that you're slower. So even if you're head down at the leeward mark, then you start making those mistakes like we saw Kaseki do. The next big thing here for New Zealand is to make a clean rounding. Let's not forget, in the finals, they almost crashed coming around that windward mark.
Gary referring to the Louis Vuitton Cup final where Team New Zealand got into it with Chris Draper and Luna Rosa, and they had a big dip, losing 2 men that went overboard. They were fished out moments later, but they came around with a lot of speed. Here we go. At mark number 3, it is all Kiwi. Emirates Team New Zealand with a huge lead at the 3rd mark. And the clock will begin, and that will give us the difference between Emirates Team New Zealand and Oracle Team USA, but it will be sizable as the Americans are still 200 meters away from the gate.
And Gary, with this big southerly breeze, the breeze coming much more off the land today, essentially no passing lanes. They're going to do one jibe and almost go all the way down the track.
Yeah, it's good news for the New Zealanders to have the wind from this direction on this leg. That's one of the reasons they were unable to catch up or pass on that first downwind leg.
So Oracle Team USA has to make another tack before they get to the gate, and they've still got some work to do. Meanwhile, Emirates Team New Zealand has the wind, has the current, and they are heading down towards mark number 4. The lead is over a minute now.
Be setting up straight away after.
At mark number 3, Oracle Team USA finds themselves in a big hole of 1 minute and 17 seconds. Can they work their magic on leg number 4?
Here, real good knocking pressure here in 2, 1. Really good knocking pressure.
Now that would be a big lead, Ken, if it was 356 meters to New Zealand, but it's 1,356 meters. Where did this whole thing go wrong? Was it on that one maneuver at gate 2?
One maneuver at gate 2. That's it. This is a shocking turn of events, and this time we can use the word shocking with lots of authority. Just an incredible turnaround for Oracle Team New Zealand to go from ahead to way behind.
Emirates Team New Zealand on leg 4 of 5. They will steam down the course, and then they will turn to the right, and they will punch it straight in to the finish line for yet another victory. And barring any major disaster or malfunction on the boat, this race will go the way of the Kiwis. That is the scene in the San Francisco Bay, and if you are a fan of Emirates Team New Zealand, it is a happy day. An absolute whitewashing of Oracle Team USA, who led the first and second legs of this race, and on leg number 3, that man with the 14 on his helmet, Dean Barker, put the hammer down on the Americans. The lead is almost 1,500 meters, and folks, in match racing, Kenny, that is got to be unprecedented.
And they got a little pace right now, just a little pace. They're going 49.5 miles an hour. You know, just out for a little afternoon cruise on San Francisco Bay.
And Gary, you could probably just circle regardless around in between New Zealand and USA and have no problem fouling on the right of way.
You know, yesterday Oracle was out here sailing, and I just wonder if they made some changes to their boat, trying to make it go faster upwind, and they went backwards. That happens when you have very little time to test things.
And I guess the question would be, from an outsider, is if you won the last race of the America's Cup on Sunday afternoon, why change anything? Why not stick with what you did on Sunday afternoon?
Well, remember, the learning curves on these boats are through the roof still. They're learning stuff every single day. I think every crew member on board these boats would say they're getting faster every day. I think for the first time, we just saw a big tactical error. All these other errors up until now have been tiny in magnitude. When it comes to the one I think we saw at that first lured gate.
And that foiling jibe just did not seem to work. They slowed down a lot and lost half their distance on that maneuver alone.
Good pressure.
I'm wondering if they're going to want to do a
expression.
second race. Yeah, sorry, Todd.
No
I'm just
worries.
wondering if they're going to do a second race or whether they want to get back to the barn and do a reset. So that's something that they'll have about 20 minutes to decide after the finish.
And what Gary's referring to is each team has a provisional card they can play where they can literally wave off a race. Usually it's used for breakage on the boat or weather conditions, and so that would be unprecedented for Team USA to play their provisional card and wave off the race after getting hammered by Emirates Team New Zealand. So here we are at mark number 4, and it is the Kiwis by a long shot out in front, reaching speeds of 54 miles an hour. That's 46.9 knots, and Dean Barker firmly in control of this race and firmly in control of this regatta. Talk about answering the call. People started to get skeptical. Did New Zealand just get lucky on those first 3 races when the Americans won the 4th race? And I think Dean Barker has answered that question.
Well, for sure, the first 2 legs of this race, there were a lot of skeptics. All of us are sitting here saying, geez, I wonder if Oracle has caught a new gear. but man, did they hand it away quick at that first gate. Really surprising that the afterguard, the brain trust of Oracle would have put themselves in the position that they actually put themselves in. Again, very easy to say from sitting here in our comfortable chair, Todd, but nonetheless, not a great move.
One of the things I want to look for to see if Grant Dalton stays on the boat if they do have a second race today. He got off, they lost. He's the big brother, the cultural guru aboard the boat, and I think he should stay on. We'll see if he does.
Well, they haven't lost with Grant Dalton on the boat as the Americans finally make it to mark number 4, the defenders of the Cup. They cross it at 1:14 behind Emirates Team New Zealand, and there's nothing they can do now but watch the Kiwis pick up yet another win. Time and distance belongs to the Kiwis yet again. Race number 5 goes in the books. Emirates Team New Zealand is your winner.
Both boats have to declare 20 minutes before, or 10 minutes before the next start, whether they're going to do the race or not.
Todd, I think it would be unprecedented for a team to actually not do this next race, and Gary, just because they're kind of ticked off. I think it's still a long series ahead. You can break stuff. They break stuff all the time. I'd be shocked if these guys didn't do this second race unless they have broken something. And looking by their body language right there, I think they've broken maybe their egos a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think the smartest thing you could do in a situation like this is to get right back out on water and go at it again and learn what you can.
And more than a minute behind, it's Oracle Team USA that finally crosses the line. But again, this could be a case of what could have been after mark number 2, because they led leg 1, leg 2, and leg 3 seems to be the kryptonite of Oracle Team USA.
Almost into a jib change. Yeah.